Hello, welcome back to the coverage of Beta TF2 LAN in Kaunas, Lithuania. We are moving now onto the lower bracket finals. This is the last situation in which these teams can redeem themselves and move back up to the upper bracket. And the teams that are going to be duking it out in this final are going to be IsF and the Enigma Zone crew 403. The maps are going to be Gullywash, Process, and the decider is going to be Snakewater. So IsF have just been playing Gullywash against Mike +5, so they'll be absolutely honed. Their Gullywash skills will be on edge. Either that or they'll be sick of playing the map. And then they'll be moving over to Process, and if necessary, the third map is going to be Snakewater. We were hoping that the casting duo was going to be Admirable from the shop floor, pairing up with Stark, but I'm just covering from Admirable as currently he is nowhere to be found. So as soon as Admirable does arrive, I'll be subbing out and you'll get to hear his lovely voice instead of my horrible nasally little tinny thing. Joining me on the microphone and then joining Admirable later on, hopefully, is going to be Stark, and we have Suyooo on the camera. They have gone live, Stark. Who's going to win this one?
I'm not sure, but Frag is going choke, and he is being pressured initially, so it's looking better than the Mike +5 game where he had all the space in the world. And look at that soldier's gone flying in. I think that was Happy Crow. He gets shut down, and look, all the frags are going towards IsF. And it just depends on if they can keep Bakart alive, and it's only Zillis alive, and he's got no health, and he gets finished off by Fragger. And very clean mid coming out from IsF, only losing one player.
Yeah, absolutely, a great clinical mid there. And the scouts from 403 were renowned at the beginning of this mid they were going to be wiping the floor with everybody else, cleaning, polishing, wiping, and hoovering the floor with everybody else. But they haven't quite managed to pull that off in the games that I've watched them. They've been outclassed by Sneaks and Guz the last few times that IsF have faced 403. IsF have come out on top both of those times, and it's been 5-0, 5-0. So it'll be interesting to see whether they can work something better on Gullywash. Morty actually overcommitting on that balcony area. They don't want to do that when they've got a 25% Uber disadvantage. Entire leading the Uber, and can they get onto Pakas and take the Uber off him? They're just streaming towards the point here. They can't block it. Happy Crow attempts, but that's the first round in favor of IsF.
Yeah, Crafter is the pyro in a very curious position, and by curious I mean poor, and he couldn't block the enemy team, and he just kind of set a pole on fire and then died. So I want to see what Fragger can do again this mid. I mean, he didn't have that much space, but he did decent work, and his team managed to finish off the aggressive players on him. And he's just kind of sitting back in his choke, and he's eating all the heals, and his team's not looking healthy because of it. And TEZC have a decent chance to make something happen here, but Renew is actually he's committing quite hard, and he's still committing. He's just shooting pipes into mid. It's very strange decision making, but he does make it out. If one scout had turned around there, that could have been a complete wipe for their team. But they will get the Uber up, so it's looking better than last round, and they should hope to try and defend this second, especially since IsF don't have all their players coming in time for this fight. But Happy Crow gets dropped right in front of his medic, and the Uber gets forced out from 403, and IsF's Uber pops much later, but because of it they lose 3 players, and we saw a similar situation a couple of maps ago.
Yeah, that's an unfortunate situation for IsF to be in. They only have 3 players alive, one of them a spawner. Bakart's going to be meeting up with them. New does get out on 1 HP with his escape plan there. Entire desperately spamming Big Door in an attempt to keep his soldier buddy alive. They are going to be able to put a lockdown on this second area, but with Sneaks going down there and Guz just respawning, the 2-player differential is going to allow 403 to just stream in through this Big Door. And if they can get onto Bakart before he gets his Uber, or simply force them out from that top area, they've got a great opportunity. Actually, Renew has gone down. That's the Demo Man for 403. So a big advantage in that Fragger is still on the field, able to pile damage into the enemy. There's actually a scout behind. There's going to be a scout of Zillis just hiding behind them, has drawn 3 players back. So it's currently a 4v3 situation in the actual medic v medic fight, but they're not going to take it. They're not working off the distraction that Zillis created them. They're just moving themselves back to mid, anticipating that Zillis was going to go down.
I'm surprised IsF didn't push on that. They had like 2 players dead on fairly long spawns. They've only just spawned now. I think they missed an opportunity not pushing there. But they didn't lose anything. They're just going to hold choke and wait for the eventual push of TEZC, since they are a round up.
And they are probably going to be the ones who are going to instigate this push. No, it's actually going to be ISF moving in through the choke point. They dropped their pocket though. Entire does go down, and a slightly better Uber for Happy Crow and Pakas as they move around this choke point. They're not going to commit too hard though. They fully respect the amount of damage that Fragger can put on them in a split second. Renew now is going to be trying to maneuver his way just around this choke point, but they don't have a pick to work with anymore. And Renew, oh goodness me, walking through 2 stickies there. And now Morty's put himself in the same position. It just seems like Fragger
swap places.
Yeah, Fragger not really paying attention to his sticky traps in choke. And now that he moves away to help on Big Door, he's completely allowed 403 to get in, and they're caught between a rock and a hard place, the combo here. Only 3 of them left alive to face the 5 of 403, and they are going to be squeezed.
I don't understand what their decision was to push mid there. I mean, they had 2 pick advantage, both teams had Uber. They wait for these players to spawn, get back to the fight, and then push from the disadvantageous position. Like, I don't understand that at all, but maybe they just misread the Ubers, but...
Or perhaps they're just taking so long to think about when they want to push that by the time they actually do it, you know, the opportunity has completely gone, but they feel committed to making the same kind of push. They are going to have a sniper and a heavy on the defense here, ISF. They are 1 round up, but they still need to be holding on to this because 403 have got an opportunity to get back in the game here. The Uber is popped out from Happy Crow. He's going to be leading it forward. All ton of cap time here coming out, but they've lost 2 players for it, including their demo man. So a 3v4, only Pakas left alive actually, and he is actually in he's actually in secret. He gets destroyed.
Yeah, Renew's been playing very greedily so far. He keeps getting himself picked off in situations where his team's looking pretty good. And if he hadn't have died there, they may have been able to cap that point because the scout was getting loads of cap time on the point from water. But he decides to just stand on the point with his scout and just gets picked off. So he needs to try and concentrate a bit much. The LAN nerves might be getting to him. He might be getting a bit too hyped, running forward like Exxon. But it looks like Bragg is trying to make his way through choke here, but he takes all the damage in the world and has to back off. And actually, ISF is really low. They all need to get some medical attention before they can hold properly, and if 403 had pushed on that, they could have be holding second right now.
ISF do have a large advantage, 50%, as they come in through that choke point. The Uber has not been forced out of back out, and Morty's attempt is not going to work. However, Zillis comes in and finishes off the job, shows him how it's done. They're both going to sack their lives for it though, and they may pick up a scout frag as well. No, they're not. Craftas now getting caught. Poor play from them. They should have been out ages ago, and it might actually fall as well. No, Pakas is going to make his way out of there with his Uber charge, so no fear there. Morty has to backspawn though in order to stay alive, and the Uber is going to come in and attempt to pop it out of Pakas. Oh sorry, the soldier is going to come in and attempt to force the Uber from Pakas, but it's not going to work. He's going to hold on to it, and he still has a 40% advantage. Would you be pushing out in this situation?
Yeah, definitely. Give it a go. What have we got to lose? I mean, they've taken quite a long time to push, and they're leaving a soldier on last, so I don't think it's going to go too well.
Oh no, this is terrible. This is the worst possible situation for them to be in. They pushed out through Riverside, had nobody bottom. They just completely read that ISF and just pushed through the lower door behind them.
You know when I said
very
what,
simple rotate. They've got a round to lose.
Yeah, that was just poor execution. They didn't send anyone through big door, and Ubered on no one on choke apparently. And
yeah, that was shocking.
Go to another mid fight, and it looks like Renew is trying to get up this left hand side. But actually, no, yeah, he just backs off and decides to come up his own elbow, and he gets
got donked. Oh my god,
crushed by New.
And destroyed him.
That one single-handedly won their team that mid fight, and Pakas surely he's not going to be getting out here, and he's being chased.
Fragger streaming forward onto him and does manage to pick him up with the stickies. So a full Uber advantage is going to be coming out here from Backart and the rest of ISF. They've got a great opportunity to bring this to 3-0 and get a very early lead.
Yeah, he picked the wrong door to run out of lobby there. It was a 50-50 gamble of where the demo was going to shoot his sticky, and he picked the wrong door and got launched up into the sky. And picked off, and now, because of that play, ISF are streaming into last with a full Uber advantage. And I like that they're using on the scouts, because the second 403 run away, they can just get straight on the point and cap time. And a fast 3-0. And TEZC really need to bring out something new to the table on these mids, because they're just getting crushed. And if you're losing all the mid fights, it doesn't really matter how well you're playing, you've always got this huge disadvantage. And Renew failing his rollout, hitting his head on the way to mid, and he's going to be rolling out big door. I want to see if they can push up right side. I think they might have a chance of winning this mid. And
Sneaks is going to be the one furthest forward, but everybody from ISF is going to be on that side as well. Renew taking so long to get up there and not really putting out enough damage. New is going to be right behind him and to pick him off, and both of the scouts on less than 20 health apiece. A health kit is picked up by Zillis as he tries to make his way out of there, but that's a disastrous mid again for the Enigma Zone crew.
Yeah, Renew really needed to just not worry about his life and just go deep, go hard into the enemy team and do as much damage as possible. Not this peppering from Valley business. He didn't do anything that mid, and his soldiers died to try and give him space. But they're trying to do, I think this is a lobby hold. I'm not really sure. Renew's kind of spamming up from Riverside, and he might actually get picked here. And yeah, every single kind of time ISF push, Renew usually falls, which is really costing them.
Yeah, of course, without Renew, they don't have any area denial. They don't have anyone to force the Ubers early through that shutter door as well, but it doesn't matter because Sneaks and Gus are going to be taking it forward instantly, though. They don't need the Uber to cap that off. In fact, they definitely don't need to be Uber to cap that off. And they are going to make this a very fast 4-0. 403 really just haven't even had a chance to get in the game, or get a feel for it. ISF just rolling them at the moment.
Yeah, Renew's gone choke this time, but he's really slow. He's like 2 seconds slow to hit the scouts. And he's not really doing a lot of damage because of it. He's shot all his stickies and he's really low and he just falls. He did no damage that mid and his team's just getting crushed. Look, Pacas is already out. He's seen how the past 4 mids have gone and he's like, no. Left on 36%. I think
that's not even a full rollout. You get to 40%, but just by walking to mid. So goodness me, that was an incredibly early exit by Pacas. He's going to meet up with his team here, but because he left so early, they might not even get the Uber for last. In fact, I'm fairly sure they're not going to be able to. They're sitting at a 20% disadvantage at the moment. Yeah, they definitely need a pyro here, the Enigma Zone crew. In order to defend this with any kind of consistency, they're gonna need an off class. They don't have one at the moment, but ISF are taking so long to do this, and they're gonna be playing for the point instantly again. It has worked the last few times. It's gonna work again. Even with the Uber, they're just unable to throw enough bodies onto that point. 5-0 already.
Yeah, it was really, really dominant. I mean, there's no other way to say it. TEZC were just getting spanked on mids, and I'm expecting to see Fragger just with crazy damage per minute because he was doing so much on these mid fights.
Yeah, he was going absolutely ham. Oh, yeah, 486 damage per minute and only 1 death from Fragger. So ridiculous play from him, and his medic only on 1 death as well. So ridiculous.
Sorted by KD, and it goes. From the highest
that's
is
ridiculous.
2, apart from Fragger, who got 17.
2 KD coming out from Sneegs going 8 for 4, but Fragger goes 17 for 1, 17 KD. His kill assist to death, ridiculous as well, 20 KAD compared to his medic's 13, and even that's fairly impressive with only 1 death from Backart, but good lord, he absolutely destroyed them. Just on middles and then all the way through. So they're going to have a look at this and completely shut him out of the game. And Renew just needs to keep reloading his stickies and not bait his team so badly.
Yeah, it was up to Renew to step it up because Fragger's been playing really well. I'm impressed by how Fragger's playing. He's definitely better than what I expected of him, which was I've sort of seen him on the forums but never seen him play. But
which equates to like a bad Div 3.
But yeah, he's definitely been playing well. So I'm impressed by how he's been playing, and maybe we'll see him in an upcoming team.
Yeah, hopefully. LANs like this are really good for breakthrough teams and breakthrough players to get noticed and recognized and picked up by other teams. It happened with a lot of Lithuanian players last LAN, and the Nations Cup certainly helped with that, bringing such players as Nighthawk and Nookie and players like that really into the eye of the public that watch and play TF2.